I'll hit full camera when it's ready.
All right.
Ready?
Yep.
Payment shock. What is payment shock? There's two types of payment shock. There's payment shock when you rent an apartment and all of a sudden your mortgage payment is way higher than what you were paying for rent. For example, if you were paying $1,000 for rent and now your mortgage payment is $3,000, that's payment shock. Lenders do not like that. Tonight, we're going to talk about a different type of payment shock. You expected your mortgage payment to be X, and it ended up being Y, and now you're shocked. What's going on, guys? My name is Minh with What's a Mortgage. Welcome to our channel. The goal of our channel is to educate, empower, and to inform you on what's a mortgage. If it's your first time tuning in, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe and notification button so you're notified every time we go live or post new content. We go live every Monday nights on Facebook and YouTube, and we post content daily on Instagram and TikTok. So definitely follow us on those other platforms if you're not already doing so. So let me tell you a story about my boy Jeremy. His name is Jeremy Hart. He went to high school with me. He went through this, okay? So he had a home that he sold to buy new construction. This so-called legendary real estate agent sold his home from. So he came to me, Minh, I have X amount to put into my house. And so I gave him a loan estimate, and I gave him his quote and his interest rate based on his specific loan amount. But little did he know that the realtor didn't put some of the fees in there. And because of that, the loan amount exceeded the county loan limits, and now he had to pay for a rate that was high balance on his VA loan, and his payment went up, so he had payment shock, right? So tonight, I'm going to inform you guys what you need to go through so you don't have the same dilemma. And I see a lot of people are upgrading to their next home right now. A lot of people are upgrading, and they're running to the same dilemma over and over, right? So we're going to break that down today. We're going to talk about some payment shock, right? Shocking payment. So if you are upgrading to your next home, it could be your next home before your forever home. It could be your forever home. You can be upgrading because your family got bigger, or you can also be downsizing, right? But the payment's going to change. And what people see, realize is that, why is my payment changing? What changed so drastically, right? So I'm going to break that down for you on what payment shock is. Ooh, I need to use the mouse. Here we go. Sorry about that, guys. So the reason why people experience payment shock is because they overall estimate how much money they have to put in their new home. My boy Jeremy, right, was off by $50,000. Okay, so when he bought his new home, right, the amount of money he was taking to another home was short $50,000. That changed the payment. But thank goodness I was his friend, so I helped him out, right? So it was off by 50,000. It pushed him from regular VA up to high balance VA, right? Same thing if you're buying in LA County or Orange County, you can change. It changes from regular. It can go from regular conventional to high balance, regular FHA to high balance, regular VA to high balance. So it puts you in a different interest rate. Also raise your loan amount, which changes your monthly payment, right? So it's very important that if you're upgrading to your next property, that you understand payment shock, right? So you understand that you might not get the payment you want but you already went through the numbers with your lender. You talk to them, you let them know, right? What's the next one? Why is this happening? All right, here's an example. Okay, so let's say you owe $300,000 on your home, and you think it's worth $5,000, and it happens all the time. You're like, you call your lender and you tell them, I have $200,000 to get into my next home, right? Let's see here. I have $200,000 to get in my next home, and you tell the lender. That's what my buddy Jeremy told me, right? They broke down the payment, and when they broke down the payment, I broke it down based on what he told me he's gonna take to his next home. But that was wrong. What we find out is, oh man, this thing keeps, oh man, see here, right? What we found out is he's gonna take, oh my goodness, this is off so much right now, bro. So he thought he has $200,000 to take to the next home, but he didn't realize when you sell your home, it costs 6%. Everyone's different, right? Some real estate agents offer different commissions, right? It all depends on what you work on with your realtor. But an average cost to sell your house is about 6%, right? So it costs 6% to sell your house. So on his $500,000 home, right? He didn't realize it cost him 6%, which is $30,000. So on that 200,000 that you told your lender you're taking to your next home, you're really taking 170. See how the numbers start changing? But when the loan officer gives you a payment or a quote based on what you told them is not correct. So you want to make sure you factor in the cost to sell your home. When you're working with a good agent when they talk about those costs up front. A lot of agents don't. My buddy thought he was taking X amount to his new home and he didn't, right? He was taking less. So out of his 200,000 he's only getting 170. So now he has to go back to the lender, and this happened while we were in escrow, right? Because when you're selling your house, right, you don't get the final HUD till the end, which is the final receipt. So when you got the final receipt, the numbers change drastically, okay? So when you are upgrading or downsizing, make sure when you're talking to a realtor to give you advice on or give you a quote on how much it costs to sell your home, make sure you find out the actual closing costs, right? Don't assume that you're taking all your money to your next home. If the realtor doesn't even bring it up to you and you start throwing out the numbers of I have 200,000 and they don't say something to you, something is wrong, right? So now that we know that he has 170 grand, right? But let's say you go out and you buy that home for $600,000, okay? One thing my buddy didn't factor into is closing costs to buy a home, okay? So it costs 2.5% to buy a $600,000 home, which is 15 grand, right? 15 grand, maybe a little less, but let's say worst case scenario, right? 15 grand. So that's another $15,000. So you went from 200 grand, right, to 170, now to 155. That changes the numbers drastically. You can see the direction I'm going already with this payment shock. Okay, so like I said, when you are upgrading or downsizing, make sure you have the correct numbers so you can get the right estimate from your lender, right? Also, it's really important why the lender and the realtor should work together, right? I didn't know the realtor, right? Because I didn't know the realtor, we didn't talk. I just went off the number my buddy Jeremy told me. He's like, I'm going to sell my house, man. Once they close the escrow, I'm going to have X amount to get in my next house. I'm buying new construction. He was thrilled. But he wasn't thrilled when things changed, right? So what you do to prepare, okay? One thing I told Jeremy, if this ever happens again, this is what I want you to do, right? I want you to get a seller's net sheet, right? If your realtor doesn't provide you a seller's net sheet, or if you want to know your budget before you talk to a realtor, make sure you get your lender. They can get you a seller's net sheet, right? I'm sure if they work with a specific title company, all title companies provide tools to their lenders for refinancing, but they also provide tools to their realtors, right, to provide value to the seller, which is a seller's net sheet. You punch in the address, you punch in the number, right? You punch in a purchase price, and a realtor, a lot of times, they do not like to tell you how much your house is going to be sold at, right? Because they don't want you talking to another realtor. All they're going to do is we're going to do our best to get you the best value. No realtor, I'm not saying all, but majority of realtors do not want to tell you how much they can sell your house for, because they don't want you talking to another realtor who's going to make you a promise that's higher than that number. Of course, everyone's going to chase the higher number, right? All they're going to do is they're going to tell you we're going to get you the best value, the best price. But that's really hard for you to budget. How do you get to your next home? You're going to get payment shock, right? Because you don't know. But you want to see the seller's net sheet up front, okay? Once you get that seller's net sheet, if your realtor doesn't provide it for you, get it from your lender, right? That will tell you the cost of selling your home. Rick G, I'll answer that question in just a second. So once you have a seller's net sheet, you will know what you're taking to your new home. Then you want your lender to send you a fee worksheet. A lot of lenders don't want to do loan estimates, right? Why don't they want to do loan estimates? Because they want an accurate number and they don't want you shopping the loan. It's easy to shop the loan estimate. So I see why a lot of times lenders don't want to provide it, right? And by law, they only have to provide it 3 days after you're in escrow. But you can ask them for a fee worksheet. If a lender is not willing to do the work to send you a fee worksheet, what type of lender are they? What are they trying to hide? They should be able to disclose the fees. A lot of times their excuses are, the numbers won't be accurate. Yes, it might not be accurate, but you want a number that's close enough because you don't want payment shock, right? Who wants payment shock? Let me know if you're okay with payment shock or not, right? So before you sell your house, before you start dreaming about your new home, right? You want to get a seller's net sheet from the seller that breaks down all the costs, right? And what's included in a seller's net sheet? Break it down to you just a second, right? In a seller's net sheet, the cost of selling your home, right? You have title fees, seller's escrow fees, unpaid taxes, right? If you have property taxes you haven't paid yet, and real estate agent commission, which is 4 to 6%, right? Of course, if it's 6%, your closing cost of selling your house is going to be more than 6%, right? Back in the days, it was 6%. Right now, it's a very competitive market. It would be hard to get away with 6%, but I see a lot of realtors telling their clients they're going to do all this marketing for them. That's why they have to charge them 6%, right? 3% goes to the seller and 3% goes to the buyer's agent. Yes, if you're a realtor, you're like, that's crazy. Yes, I've seen 6% even recently. But typically right now, selling your house should be about 4% to the seller, to the buyer. Sometimes 5%, 2.5%, 2.5%. Sometimes the seller agent tries to take 3%, only offers 2%. It's how they cut it up, right? You as a buyer should know, hey, how much is going to the seller, how much is going to the buyer, not just lump sum. Sometimes the seller agent tries to keep too much and not offer enough, and that's why you're not getting a lot of good bites on your house, right? So it's really important for you to know, hey, out of the commission, how much are you keeping, how much you offering? Well, I want to keep more because I'm doing so much more legwork. A lot of times, like I said, everyone has a reason. Everyone can justify their value, and if it's worth it to you, pay it. I'm not saying that's not worth paying it. Everyone has a different idea of what they're worth. Okay, so you want to get a seller's net sheet. The reason why I didn't put one on here, there's like 10 different versions of a seller's net sheet, but in a seller's net sheet, there is pretty much the closing cost of selling your house. You'll see the title fees. It's the owner policy. It's the policy if you're selling your home that you are buying for the buyer. It's called a title policy. The buyer has to buy the lender's policy if they're financing it, right? So you selling your home are going to give them a title owner's policy. You pay for your own escrow fee while the buyer pays for their own escrow fee. If there's any unpaid taxes that you owe, you're going to pay it. And also the real estate commission, okay? And then when you go out and buy your house, right, you have the fee worksheet, okay? The fee worksheet has the lender fees, lender miscellaneous fees, title fee, escrow fee, and impounds. Because the lender has to pay, the buyer has to pay these fees, that's why they're not paying the commission, right? So this is about 2.5% of the purchase price, depending on where the purchase price is at, right? If the purchase price is on the low end, you'll see 2.5 to 3. If you're in the 5, 6, 700, 800,000, it might be between 2 to 2.5, right? It all depends on when you're looking to close. So that right there, guys, are the total costs of selling your house, total cost of buying your house. So now that you know these fees, you can decide, right, what your payment's going to be. So in case you need to adjust the purchase price, right? So now you won't have payment shock, right? No one wants to go through escrow and near the tail end be shocked on their payment, right? Let's show the example right here really quick on the website, on the internet. So on this $600,000 home with $200,000 down, which you assumed, right? The payment is $2332. That's 200 grand on 600,000, right? But now, because of the changes, you go here, it's $600,000, $155,000 down. The payment is $2516. The difference is $200, right? That's that's $2,400 a year, right? So it sounds like it's not a big deal, but to some people, it is a big deal. It is payment shock. Sometimes fees can be even more. This person's getting $200,000 out of their house. Let's say you're not getting $200,000, you're getting less, right? Let's say you're getting $100,000, right? You waited a couple years, you want to upgrade, you might have 100 grand in equity, but at the end, you might end up with only 50 grand, and that can change your payment drastically, right? See this one, this example, no matter which example which scenario was, they had 20% down. What happens? You go from 20% down to 10% down, and now you have PMI. Also, you have a higher interest rate than 25% down, right? A lot can change. That's why you want to make sure you know all this up front so you're not surprised with any changes. So on this explanation, on the $200,000 down, right, and the 155, it was still more close to 25% down or more, right? Because of that, the rate didn't really change that much. On my buddy Jeremy, who had a VA loan, right, the payment, it went up like half a point, right? And his loan amount shot up another 50 grand, right? So it's really important that you guys talk to a lender, get completely approved, right? make sure when you talk to a lender, provide them the seller's net sheet so they know exactly. Don't just tell them I'm going to get 200 grand from one house to the next house, right? You want to make sure, here's my seller's net sheet. Can you draft me up a fee worksheet as well so I can see how much am I spending to upgrade? Typically, when you're upgrading to your next home, you're coming out of pocket with your equity. You're not really coming out of pocket with your money, and your closing costs can eat up some of that equity, and you have less money to get to your next home. What you could do, you maybe take a little bit higher of a rate, cover your closing costs, so that other money goes towards your equity, right? You want to run the numbers, see is it worth taking a higher rate but putting more money towards your equity, or taking a lower rate but keeping that money to cover closing costs. The best way to find out, have a lender run the numbers. Run the numbers so you can make the best decision for your life. Run the numbers so you don't get payment shock. Hopefully you enjoyed this piece of information. Guys, if I brought you value tonight, do me a huge favor. Save this video, share this video, and like this video. Let's go some Q&A really quick here, guys. Also, you have questions. If you want to reach out to me, go ahead, give us a call, 714-790-9697. You can reach out to us at any time, right? You can email us. If you do have a loan estimate and you want us to help you read it or beat it, send your loan estimates to info@whatsamortgage.com, all right? So let's get some Q&A here. What's up, Jolene? How you doing? What up, Rick G? 775 purchase. I got quote 3 1/8. Is that the best rate today? I don't know if that. I don't know if that's a conventional. That is not a good rate today. I think today 2.875 is there today. 3% maybe, right? If you're going 5% down or more, Rick G in Orange County or LA County, you should get better than 3 1/8 today. What up, Rick G? How you doing? Oh yeah, you should for sure get a better rate today. 745 FICO. Francisco Bautista, right? What loan would be the best in the current market? VA all day. VA loan, there's no upfront PMI. There's upfront funding fee, but there's no monthly PMI, and it's 100% financing, and you get a low rate, right? Without PMI, you're going to be able to qualify for more home, Francisco. I would go VA all day long. Jolene, it all depends on depending on where you're at, right? Right now, I see rates in the 2s. Right, on FHA, I see them in the low 2s right now. Conventional, I see them in the high 2s, right? But also, if you could be doing an investment, if you're in an investment, you're probably gonna be in the 3s, right? It all depends on what type of loan you're getting, the down payment, right? The program. I would need more information. Jolene, you can reach out to us, right? 714-790-9697. Also, message at info@whatsamortgage.com. All right, if you have any questions to a lender or a loan officer. A lender or a loan officer is the same thing, right? If you reach out to a lender, they're going to make you talk to a loan officer. So definitely reach out, talk to somebody, get the right information so you can make the best decision for you and your family. And everything is scenario based, right? Not everyone's situation is the same. Everyone's situation is different. Thank you so much, Brandon. Brandon, I love what you're doing out there on TikTok, right? I've been following you on TikTok, Brandon. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it brought you value. Guys, do me a huge favor, save this video, share this video, and like this video. And if you're not following us yet, right, please go ahead and follow us. Hit the subscribe and notification button. All right, guys? We want to end all our live stream with our attitude is gratitude. Without you, there would be no us. So thank you